Welcome to this week's episode of Talk of the Town. My name is Philip Swicegood, and I am back with my good friend and co-host, Dr. Kenneth Harper from Vein Specialist of the South. Now, if you have questions about your veins, give my friends at Vein Specialist of the South a call, and they will get you the answers that you deserve. If you're one of our brand new viewers on WMAZ, thanks so much for joining us. Here's what you can expect: a conversation between me, Dr. Harper, and someone in the community that you need to hear from. Behind us is the construction of the brand new Macon Amphitheater that's going to hold 10,000 people and will be one of the premier venues in the Southeast. Joining us today is the man to answer all of our questions, and that is Mayor Lester Miller. Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thanks, Andy. I'm glad to be here today.
Hey, I've been looking forward to the interview. I know it's been a year and a half or so, early in your tenure as mayor, that we had this conversation. So we're talking about some things that you first addressed when you ran 5 years ago now. And one of them is the Eisenhower Corridor. And we'd like for you to share kind of your vision then for this outreach in this part of Macon and how that's going. And that ties into our talk about the amphitheater today.
Well, sure. It's been, seems like a world of things have happened since the last time we were talking about great things in Macon-Bibb County. So the amphitheater, the project we have here in the Eisenhower Corridor, what some may refer to as the Macon Mall, the mall, is one of those things that quite some time ago was the center focus of commerce, retail, entertainment. I grew up in this area, as you may know, and I went to 7 different elementary schools within about a mile and a half of this area. So I got to come visit here a lot with friends, with family. Some great childhood memories of working here. I actually slept in the mall on occasion. There was a Ticketmaster right in the middle of the mall. We had some employees at Shoney's in the family. We slept there. We were the first one in line to get some Bruce Springsteen tickets and other things. And, just a lot of great memories. Had some good memories of going here with my friends. My wife, for one of the first times we came here, and I knew she was the one. We were walking around, getting some ice cream from Baskin Robbins and just, buying school clothes. So it's got a lot of those kind of memories for everybody. I run across to in our community. They all want to give me their Macon Mall story. For me, it's a chance to revitalize this area. We have an area that's kind of economically depressed. As malls kind of dissipated over a period of time because of these retail gurus like Amazon, because of the outdoor mall, because of people going back to downtowns. And not enough TLC came to this area here, and we worried about it being a large blight in our community. So it became a priority for me during my campaign. More importantly, for my transition team, they saw the value of it to give these folks on this side of the town something they can be proud of.
Right. I think the vision for lifting up the whole community is important, and this is a big piece of it. And we appreciate you leading the way on this and the other government officials who've joined right along. It's one of those things that we were talking a little earlier about how the community has rallied around moving Macon Forward, which is great to see, and we appreciate you being part of that, major part of that leadership.
Thank you. We have a great team, and I think collaboration is the key. So we're looking forward to continue that over the next several years.
Right. All right, now, Mr. Mayor, we want to keep this conversation going, but first, a break from our sponsor.
I'm a mom and a professional outside sales representative, always on the go. I enjoy spending time working in my yard, shopping, and going on long walks. After being pregnant with my second child, I was left with terrible varicose veins in both legs. This caused heaviness, pain, and swelling, which I dealt with for years, but it was more of a cosmetic issue. I wanted great-looking legs. Then a friend told me about Vein Specialist of the South. This office wasn't what I expected. They listened to my concerns, and the staff were extremely caring and informative about the procedure and what to expect. Plus, the procedure had minimal downtime. Since having the procedure, my legs feel amazing, and I have my youthful legs back. I would have addressed it years ago if I'd have known how easy it was. If you want 5-star vein care, I encourage you to call Vein Specialist of the South today.
So, Mr. Mayor, 10 years ago, if you would have said that something like this was going to be coming to this mall in Middle Georgia, I don't know how many people would have actually believed you. Yet here we are, and it is literally under construction behind us. Now, I want to ask you about the construction that's going on. Can you give us a time frame? When did it start, and when do you think it's going to be completed by?
Well, 10 years ago, a lot of people would have doubted a lot of things. Even still today, some people, until they started seeing it come out of the ground, didn't think it was going to happen. Is this the right area for it? Is it the right time? Can Macon support that with our rich musical heritage? The answer to me is quite honestly yes. The project itself is about the amphitheaters, somewhere around the $40 million price tag. Now, if you try to build the same amphitheater, you're probably talking about $60 million. Just in the last couple of years, it's gone up tremendously.
Wow.
But this will actually be the capacity of 12,000. So we kind of increased that to 12,013 in the last 2 years, which allows us to have bigger acts come to Macon. But the process started with a planning process in the beginning. My team and I went to several amphitheaters around, both in Georgia and Alabama, looked online, talked to a lot of experts in the area, and this is the model we came up with after speaking with the folks. So TVS designed this. We think it's going to be fabulous. Local construction company, Piedmont's doing a wonderful job trying to stay on time. What is on time? That's what everybody wants to know.
Right.
The season for amphitheaters typically in Georgia would probably be from March to October, November. So this year we're hoping to finish everything up, get everything lined up toward the end of the year, maybe have a soft opening, but for sure around March the 28th of next year, we're going to be full blast. We'll book as much and as many as possible. Every great act that can go to Atlanta, Georgia to play will come to Macon, Georgia to play. Have to continue to remind people that they care about the money, right? But they also want to be on a great outdoor venue. We really designed the back of the house to take care of the entertainer, give them everything that they wanted to have. And then you'll notice when you go into the amphitheater, it's mostly a large facility, but it's very intimate. You're almost there at the stage, and it has something for everyone.
So, Mr. Mayor, one of the reasons that I think all of us should be so excited about this is because of, just like you said, the rich musical heritage that Macon has. Whether it's Jason Aldean, Chuck Leavell, I mean, you could name countless people that wrote chart-topping singles and performed them here in Middle Georgia. So I've got to ask a question. This is actually for both of you, okay? We'll start with you, Mr. Mayor. What do you think is the one band that you want to come see here play first?
Ooh, I'm on a gag order right now, so I can't. I've had the preview to see some conversations that's going on. I have a lot. My genre's all over the place. I'm a classic Southern rock kind of guy in the past. Of course, I love me some Jimmy Buffett. He had a cancel show recently, so I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
He may not make it here. Jason's from Macon. He's got to do that. But look at people like J.J. Weeks. J.J. Weeks is a good Christian artist here in Macon. He doesn't even play here. We have some great local talent. We're going to give them every opportunity in the world to get there to open up for these acts. And they're going to be our future stars, and we're going to help promote them, just like the Otis Reddings of the day. Certainly I'll be remorse if I didn't say that Otis Redding III, I was looking forward to him taking the stage here to kind of carry on that legacy of his father. And, his recent death really reemphasizes, and he was a great supporter of this. His sister Carla is a great supporter of this project as well. And we're looking forward to get both some local acts with some large acts here, a good variety of music, clean fun for everybody. And it's going to be a great atmosphere.
So, Dr. Harper, which band do you want to come see play at the Macon Amphitheater?
I'd love to see Sugarland play.
That'd be great.
You're right. Maybe Chicago. There are a lot of those artists like Zach Brown who started out the Hummingbird or Capitol Theater. It would be cool to have them come back and play here. And I think it's going to be very successful.
Well, I do too. I'm looking forward. I can't wait till it starts. And I tell you, every day is another day closer to it. And I drive by. I live in this area, so every day I drive by here, I see every new metal pole that goes up. As a matter of fact, you can go onto the construction site there and watch the timeline every day like I do when I get bored. But
so there's a live cam?
There's a live cam.
And anybody see it?
Piedmont Construction every day.
Piedmont Construction.
From the time that you got here till the end, you look on there and see that project. The camera's just right above us here on the old pennies. You can see that
there it is.
And it's on every day, all day long, so you'll get to see a rapid reflex there.
Could you paint a picture for our audience? I think the entrance back there is kind of the back door.
That's
but
correct.
Tell us, if you walk in that ramp, what are you going to see when you walk into the ramp?
So what you're looking at toward the backside here is you'll have the VIP gate, and so you'll have people that have the VIP passes for the suites. We have some private suites, corporate suites, suites, and different sponsorships. You have what we call vomitories. Those are the things that you walk through there. As soon as you enter that, you're going to see this huge stage. I mean, it's going to be one of the largest stages you've ever seen. Certainly the entertainers love that. A lot of room to move around. Right there to your right and your left, you're going to see the lawn section. It's going to have nothing but grass, beautiful grass there, where people can bring their blankets. They can rent a lawn chair there. You can sit out and relax. Above those, you'll have the suites. So people that want to pay a little bit more money, maybe sponsor something, you can have your own private little food in there, your own restroom facilities, completely ADA accessible all across the area. As you go down those stairs there through the vomitory, you'll see some permanent seating that has a M covering, which is the large awning that we have for about 5,000, 5,500 will be underneath the awnings. You can reserve those seats. They'll be permanent fixed there. There's some VIP sections in that as well. So you have about 120 VIP sections to the left and to the right. You can get on your phone, order your food. They'll bring it right there to you, whether it's going to be your favorite libation or whether it's going to be some good Southern cooking here from Macon-Bibb County. As you go further there, you'll get to an area that's, I like to refer to as the mosh pit. It's the area that you can stand up and party and get up there and grind. And sometimes we'll have some tables and some chairs that are portable in and outs. And then you've got that stage. Stage is also built to be entertainment friendly, but also to handle things like graduation. So we'll have ramps on both sides. You can go up there and use those for things. And I think mostly what the entertainers are so proud about is the green rooms that we have in the back. They have some fabulous large rooms that has everything that they need to meet their daily lives. And of course, a lot of the riders require this space. So they have their own private kitchen, they have washers and dryers, sometimes a weight room, but plenty of access to the back of the house for the entertainers and a huge stage. So we're very excited about that. Can't wait for it to happen.
Okay. Now, there's a lot more to this project than just that amphitheater. Tell us about Macon Mall. Well, what's the name going to be? Do we know? Is it going to remain the Macon Mall? You got any hints on what the rebranding might be?
Well, it's always going to be referred to as the Macon Mall, no matter what you call it. It's
That's right.
Mall, or the new mall, or whatever it may be. It's going to be the Macon Mall. Now, the amphitheater itself may have a sponsorship, and hopefully that'll be something we announce in the very near future as we do our schedules. But I've been called all kinds of things. The Macon Mall. What's important is what the mall and the character is going to be. We're going to have a lot of different things inside the mall. When I think about today's new mall, it's something it's hard to hang on to. They're going down really quickly, and you got to reimagine what you're going to do. So what we try to do is make this very versatile. We're going to have a government wing, which will have some courts. It'll have the world-class Board of Elections there. It'll have a sheriff's department there. It's going to have the regional commission, Middle Georgia Regional Commission there, the Mayor's Literacy Alliance there, a library there. It's going to have our safe field or our inspections and fees there, and about a 10,000 square feet meeting room for access for the community. As you move down the mall, you'll have things like the pickleball, which will be inside the old
tell us,
Macy's.
people, what?
Belk.
Oh, in the Macy's. Where was that? Where's that? What you just talked about will be
right here. It'll be 135,000 square feet inside the old Belks.
Is that part of the complex?
Yes.
The Bibb County complex?
Yep. This entire complex is Bibb County Urban Development Authority owned. So if you remember the old Belks here in Macon, had an upstairs and a downstairs, 135,000 square feet, and we'll have 32 courts, which will be the largest in the world. And that's right,
Really?
World with a capital W.
Wow.
Of course, somebody's going to try to beat us. That's okay. But it's not just for those people who want to enjoy to play pickleball in our community. These things are on fire right now. People will drive, fly, do whatever they need to do, bike, walk, to go play pickleball in large droves. And we can book tournaments up to 1,200 people over a 4-day period of time. Economic impact around $3 to $4 million. What are those people going to do when they come play pickleball? They're going to drink good beverages, going to eat good food. They're going to check out our rich history here. Hopefully they're going to go down to the what's going to be the first national park in the state of Georgia, at Old Muggy National Park.
That's right.
They're going to enjoy the quality nightlife we have downtown, and visit some nice areas that we have of our community, and most importantly, drop off some money while they're here, staying in our hotels, our motels, and our restaurants, because now that we have the OLAS, all that rolls our taxes back, and it helps fund public safety.
Now, I think you mentioned there might be a hotel built on site.
That's correct. The second phase of this project will involve a battery park type atmosphere like you have in Atlanta outside the Truist Park, with a potential nice hotel and restaurant attached to it. And eventually maybe some other actions if the state of Georgia decides to take some certain steps there. So we'll see what happens in that atmosphere, but certainly entertainment is part of it. And we've got some retail. We've had a lot of people call the companies wanting to bring their retail back. They want to know more about the project. A lot of restaurants have been calling about the former O'Charlie's and some out parcels we have. As that amphitheater gets cranked up, literally cranked up, and as the pickleball starts to bounce, people are going to start getting interested in Macon-Bibb County again. And we're going to give them something that they can enjoy and something that will be a destination place.
So I guess what you're saying is I can either drive an hour and a half to Atlanta, fight the traffic, pray I can find a parking spot to go to an event up there, or I can come right here 15 minutes away from my house to a world-class theater.
That's exactly. Not only that, where else can you go with 5,500 parking spaces, 4 entrance and exits, 2 major interstates, and get out of an event in about 10 or 15 minutes? It's just unreal. You can't find that anywhere in Macon, of course, and you can't find it anywhere, I believe, in the state of Georgia. So it's the perfect location for this. Plenty of stuff to do. People can get there early, go inside the mall, do the pickleball, do some shopping, have some great food, do some tourist type stuff, and then come to an event at night, and then come back the next night and do it all over again.
Now, I do know one of the questions that people will want to know with any project like this is the actual funding sources. Can you talk about roughly how much it's going to cost and where you envision the money coming from?
Sure. That's a great question, and a lot of people are kind of confused how our government's actually doing this for no additional tax dollars, and I think some of them still don't believe it, to be honest with you. But this is one of those projects that I happened to speak with the owners about while I was running for office. Hall is a great company. They own this mall. They kept it in good condition, and they have a legacy to protect themselves. So we talked to them. I said, hey, I think I'm going to win this race. I do think I'm going to win this race. I'm confident about things, how it's going. We got good support. I'd love to take that mall and turn it into a different type of a place. So we talked to them about if I get elected that first year, they would transfer the mall through a tax distribution. So it doesn't cost us any money. We got one half of it the very next day we sign the contract. That's where this amphitheater is. The other half we get in 7 years for the most part. And the other parts that we get to use that we don't own, we get to do it for $1.
Wow.
So it's a great deal. At the same time, it's a business decision for them. They get to write off the great donation they did. This place was raised for $70 million.
Wow.
And we got a $40 million amphitheater here that's going to cost the taxpayers no additional monies. We sold those bonds on the open market. Took about an hour and a half, went for a good rate. They were all purchased up, and they'll be paid for from this venue, from the sponsors that'll be sponsoring the venue, as well as the rents from inside the Macon Mall. So it's a win-win for all. We moved several departments, I think 6 or 7 departments into the mall that were paying rent elsewhere. So quite honestly, instead of paying someone else third-party rent, we're now paying the mall rent itself. So it makes the project work really well. More importantly, again, because of the OLAS that was passed by the citizens, about 80% of the votes, every additional penny that's spent here at the mall per $1 will go to roll back the taxes for everybody in Macon County.
Wow.
So it allows us to have outside tourists, and we expect about 255,000 to come during the first year of operations here to Macon County, spend their money here, and then we'll roll our taxes back. We're expecting the largest tax increase in our history, up to 40% in the next year for Bibb County.
What's the economic impact of that?
Oh, the economic impact is going to be every week. I mean, just a 12,000 sellout is going to get you about a $2 million economic impact. These are tournaments that we talk about all the time. Right now, we're doing pickleball tournaments on a smaller nature. They bring anywhere from 800,000 to 1.5 million. This large one of about 1,200 people over a 4-day period of time can go up to $2 or $3 million. So economic impact is going to be 10-fold. So it's something that most people are not going to realize. They look just how much the project's going to cost. But really, we're going to be feeding a lot of people, creating a lot of jobs, providing a lot of safe spaces here in Macon County.
You know, when you think about leadership and working together, this is a great example, and creativity, because you and the team are pulling off this in a way that's really going to benefit everybody. And there was a tax decrease this year, right?
That's right.
So thank you. On behalf of the whole community, we thank you, Lester, for that. Thank you so much. What are ways that the public will immediately, will the local election site be in this building rather than over, it was on Pinona in the office there, so people will be coming there if you're in this district to vote, or early voting.
Right, so what we expect to happen in June, around June the 21st, maybe July the 1st, the Board of Elections site here will be completed. The current site's about 12,000 square feet. This site's about 40 to 50,000 square feet. Ample opportunity, ample room. More importantly, it keeps people out of the weather. If it's 105 degrees, who cares? You got air conditioner inside. If it's pouring down raining, lightning, who cares? Whether it's 10 degrees outside, you're going to be inside. There's a short walk to the Board of Elections, but it gives us a large space to showcase Macon. It also gives us a place to store all of our equipment. It gives a nice safe space. You can take the bus here, there. It's going to be handicap accessible. So the Board of Elections will be a nice piece of that, and it'll be something that's state of the art, sure.
Now, are there a couple of the courts going to be here? Which ones, and where are they now, and what space is that going to free up?
Well, it's going to, if you remember the old Sears at the bottom, you had your lawn and garden section, so they have about 40,000 square feet there under the Burlington. We have 2 very nice courtrooms. You can do traffic court there. You'll do things like maybe divorce, civil cases can go there. What I like to do is do your alternative dispute resolutions. We'll have someone come over and do your mediations, your arbitrations, those types. You also can have a senior judge. I know like Judge Howard Sims is retiring, and he can go take senior status where he can help relieve some of the backlog of cases that we have in our current system by coming over here. This was envisioned because of COVID. We built this out because we needed large spaces for jury rooms because people couldn't be as close as we are today. Also in the jury areas, And it's something that we wanted to use the space that we have there. And the funds were used for a SPLOST that was passed by the taxpayers in 2018 to add on or make additions to the courthouse. So we used some of those funds to build courtrooms here. Once again, you don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to go downtown and worry about parking. You don't have to worry about paying about park. It's right on the bus route. You can get right off there if you have to go pay a traffic citation, or maybe you're a juror in a case. So it's very convenient for all.
Are you able to share anything about, there was plans to build a new courthouse downtown. Is this impacting that, or
I don't know if
what's
it's
the future on that?
What the 2018 SPLOST called for was to address certain concerns, not necessarily a new courthouse, but to make addition. So far, we've done a juvenile justice center, so that takes care of separating the juveniles from there. We purchased some parking nearby. That took care of part of that issue. We increased the security so far inside there. We've also purchased a building behind there and moved several departments into the old IBM building. So we're addressing all those issues. These courtrooms here, I expect if we have a new jail done, you'll have 2 courtrooms inside that jail, so you don't have to transport prisoners. They'll stay there, safer, more secure. You save a lot of money, more efficient, so the judges could actually work there. So the need to recreate a brand new courthouse is something that I don't think we're going to have, but we will need to make some modifications and maybe shift the entrance to the courthouse now. And certainly we're building a new courtroom up in State Court right now to have more spaces there. So
that could be another way of saving the county a good bit of money.
Yeah, those SPLOST dollars could be reallocated to other buckets of money that the taxpayers said they wanted to spend it on. So we look forward to having that conversation in the next year.
Okay.
So all 3 of us sitting here, we're all longtime Maconites, and I don't know about you guys, but one of the things that drives me nuts are the naysayers. There is a contingent of people out there that are naysayers about projects like this, often about this side of town, and the concern stems around crime. What do you think you would say to someone that was worried about the crime aspect in a location like this?
Well, I have to say it every day, actually, but I don't mind saying it, but sometimes you got to show people. The more activity you have, the safer you're going to be. All these businesses we talked about coming here is going to create foot traffic. That foot traffic not only creates dollars, but it increases the safety. We're going to have a full-time sheriff's department here inside the mall. We're going to move it closer to the food court so it's more visible. All these lights poles you see here are going to have new LED lights, but also going to have cameras on them. Everything's going to be monitored. We're going to know who everybody is. You're going to have tag readers on all the license plates. So if you have somebody who's committed some type of crime, you keep them out of here. More importantly, we've been working with the sheriff's department to hire new deputies. We've done that. But we've also done something that I think that's kind of out of the box. We allowed our fire department to go through some training and become sheriff deputies in a sense where they can provide securities. They work about 9 to 10 days a month, which means they have other time off where they can earn extra money, and most of them do it anyway. Why not work to do safety in Macon-Bibb County? Every one of these poles can be guarded by a fire department or sheriff deputy that's off duty, or there's all kinds of companies from Georgia State Patrol to other private companies that are already interested in basically doing security here. So you're going to have proper lighting, you're going to have proper security. We got cameras already being installed, and of course the pure capacity that we have here of people that's going to be here is going to make it a safe place. We have cherry blossom all the time. We have the brag jam. Those are big, huge events, and they're always safe. You don't ever hear about things like that because you have large groups of people, and we're going to make sure this is a safe place to come. We realize there's a perception here. People think this is certain crimes are associated with this, but honestly, it just hasn't had any TLC in the last couple of years. This area here only represents 1.8% of all the crime in Macon-Bibb County. But to hear the naysayers, they think it's 30 to 40%.
Of course.
Because every time you hear something about a crime, it can be 3 miles away, and they say, near the Macon Mall. You know, we also have a large student contingency we're going to take advantage of here. Go to Georgia State University, Central Georgia Technical College. I wouldn't be surprised to see some housing pop up in the very near future to go along with some of these other restaurants and things. So you're going to have more people living in this area, working in this area. So it's going to make it safer, and we're going to be intentional about it to make sure that people not only feel safe, but they are safe when they come here. It's going to be one of the most secure places when we have events here than all of Macon-Bibb County.
Right. You know, you've had a lot of successes with your first term, and we all appreciate that. One of the things that stands out to me is the initiative on the blight. Tell us a little bit about that. I think you hit 500 homes, and tell us what your vision is for Macon, for blight, and for rebuilding.
So one of the things that I heard throughout the community when I was going around the campaign trail was, you know, I've had this house near me burned out for 10 years, nothing's been done about it. Or I see all these guys selling drugs and what appears to be prostitution, stolen goods coming in and out of this area all the time. We need something done about it. So we laid out the crime statistics in Macon, and we laid out the blight. Guess what? They're one and the same. You have your most blight, you have your most crime, and it's no coincidence. So we've done a lot of work, a lot of research on that issue. Our transition team delved into it. So the year before I arrived, they did 9 houses. They tore 9 houses down. We've done 525 as of today in just about 2 years, and we're doing it more efficiently, which means it's costing less money. We can tear those houses down ourselves if they don't have asbestos, and we can take them to a landfill a lot cheaper. And it gives our guys some experience to do that as well. So we've done that the first couple of years. We got plenty more to go, and we're certainly tearing those down every day. But at the same time, we're going to start infilling those houses. So we passed a $7.5 million ARP funding for affordable housing, and we're going to start building and infilling those houses. It's called a revolving loan fund, and we're going to let people borrow money for about 3.5% to build good quality housing, whether it may be a quad, maybe a duplex, maybe it's 60 residents, maybe it's just 1 or 2 houses at a time. But we're going to do that to try to lift up the neighborhoods that have the blighted houses removed from them.
Do you have one other passionate thing you're passionate about you'd like to share with us today?
We have so much to be thankful for, but I would like to mention our Brookdale Warming Center. I hope you get a chance to go by there. We call it the Resource Center now for those experiencing homelessness. Over 1,000 people have been through that in 2 years.
Wow.
Recently, we announced this great initiative called the Gardens at Brookdale. If you haven't seen it, you need to go by there. So what we did is we turned an old basketball court and some land right around the ball fields into this huge garden that's already constructed within a month. They're already starting to enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables out of it. It will feed 100 people for a year with these 49 raised beds.
Right.
That's life changing. But not only that, we're going to have some chicken coops out there. So guess what? Chickens are what? They're good for your mental health. But also you can teach the children that are there. We have 36 kids there. You teach the children, the parents, other people in the community how you can throw that refuse out.
Right.
You can let the chickens eat those things. You can let the byproduct happen. Show them how to fertilize it. I mean, think of the wonderful things we can do. We've got our school system bringing their chefs there to tell them how they can prepare food for the future and how they can prepare healthy meals.
Right.
You know, we have a problem with obesity just like everywhere. Certain districts in Bibb County live not quite as long as people in other parts of our community. One way to change that narrative is to get good, healthy foods out there. And we have a lot of food deserts, so this will meet that need as well. So we're excited about that.
I think for vein specialists, we did a day of service at the Brookdale Warming Center. And so for other companies or individuals or organizations, that's an opportunity to participate in that and see what's happening.
Oh, we always got room for both.
Right. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, we've got to wrap up. Thanks so much for joining us. This was a fantastic conversation, and we can't wait to see who's going to be playing right behind us here in a very short amount of time. So thank you.
Well, thank you for everything you continue to do. I hear nothing but good things about the vein specialist. All my families and friends go there.
Okay.
Looking forward to seeing you in the amphitheater. If you got an opportunity that you want to do some sponsorship, we'll be happy to do that as well.
Wonderful.
Looking forward to it.
And thank you so much for joining us this week. Stay tuned because you never know where me and Dr. Harper might show up next.